Democratic Whip Steny Hoyer, who was at the White House today. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. I want to get to the politics in a second, but first there is this breaking announcement from the White House this afternoon that the president has decided to double the presence of U.S. troops in Iraq. Do you have any concerns about this announcement in terms of mission creep? Will you support it?
I don't think there's mission creep, and yes, I will support it. This is clearly pursuant to training and equipping and making sure that those folks on the ground, the boots on the ground who are indigenous to Iraqis or others, give them the kind of support and training that they need to be effective in defeating ISIL, which is the president's objective, and I think an objective shared by Republicans and Democrats and the country.
What do you say to, the people watching at home who think, why is this announcement coming on a Friday afternoon, 3 days after the midterm elections?
Well, I don't say much about that because I don't know why the specific timing, but clearly they're developing a plan. We were briefed in a security briefing on part of that plan that they believe will be effective in accomplishing what I think the American people and the president have articulated as our objective, and that's the defeat of ISIL. This announcement has to do, obviously, with the amount of boots from America, not in combat, but to train and equip, which the Congress has already spoken to, that are necessary to get the job done. My own thought is that we need to make sure that we can, in fact, accomplish the objective that the president has articulated. I think that's in our national security interest and in the interest of stability in the Middle East.
All right, Congressman, let's go back to the subject of today's lunch. What can you tell us about the meeting? Were there areas agreed upon where there can be some tangible bipartisan accomplishments?
Well, I think the answer to that is yes. I think both sides made it very clear that they don't want to simply be throwing bricks at one another for 2 years, as has been the case. And the American people have sent, I think, a very strong message that they want us to see us work together, and that's why you hear so many people talking about that. Now, the proof of whether that talk is going to be walked is whether or not, in fact, we do it. There were areas of significant agreement, I think. There was agreement that we wanted to do an omnibus, and that we wanted to do that hopefully by the December 11th.
A big spending package.
Completing the funding for this year's operations of government. The Ebola crisis funding that is going to be necessary so that we can do what the president and all the health experts agree, and that is make sure that in the sites in Africa where this epidemic has been generated, that we need to deal with it there on site. I think there was general agreement to that. I think there was also general agreement on ISIL itself, as I've expressed, that we need to make sure that we were successful in this effort to defeat ISIL and to stabilize the Middle East.
Of course, the big sticking point is that President Obama has vowed an executive action on immigration this year, probably after he gets back from Asia before the end of the year. We've already heard the Speaker of the House say that would poison the well. The new Senate Majority Leader said that would be like waving a red flag before a bull. What would you recommend to the president in terms of whether or not he should take this executive action, or whether that would really spoil everything for the next 2 years?
Look, I think that it's clear that presidents have taken executive action through the years. This president, frankly, hasn't acted on executive orders as many times as some of his predecessors have, both Republican and Democratic. In addition to that, there have been a number of executive orders under the first President Bush, the second President Bush, President Reagan, which dealt with immigration. The president's position is, look, I've waited for a year and a half after a comprehensive bill passed. Everybody says the system is broken. We ought to fix it. Families are being wrenched apart. Children are being left without a parent or parents. And that is unacceptable. And given that, he believes he can act with his authority, but he also made it very clear that if the Congress acted, that would be the law. And that is the preferable option that he wants. Furthermore, he pointed out correctly, and the Republicans clearly acknowledge this, that if he acts and then a law is passed, as the Speaker indicated, has indicated in the past he wants to see happen, then that would supersede any action that the President took. But I think the President's in a position where he has said he's going to do something, and I think he feels that he needs to do this. Let me say that I am hopeful, and I will be urging the Speaker and others on the Republican side of the aisle. We're going to have disagreements, and some are going to be serious disagreements. But if we allow the things on which we disagree to undermine the things on which we agree, we're going to further anger the American public. They're going to be frustrated, and they're going to think their government doesn't work. So we ought to take those things on which we disagree, understanding that we're going to have honest disagreements, set those aside, not abandon them, but set them aside and focus on that on which we can agree. And if we do so, I think this next Congress can be a positive, not a negative. But if we simply say, if you do one thing that I don't like, then I won't work with you on other things that I do like, that will not be a successful Congress, and I don't believe the Speaker is going to move in that direction. I know there's strong feeling on their side of the aisle about the President's taking executive action vis-a-vis immigration, but the President's right. It's been a year and a half. The Senate passed a bipartisan bill with a significant number of Republicans voting for it. It's a moderate bill. It took the middle course, and I think the President rightfully is in a position where he wants to stop what is a policy that, frankly, Americans don't want to see, and that is the division of families. And from an economic standpoint, of course, if we passed a comprehensive immigration bill, it will give a very substantial shot in the arm to the economy, which is going pretty well, much better than it has in the past. We have good numbers today, so I'm hopeful that whatever actions the President takes, and whenever he takes them, it will not undermine the ability to move forward constructively in a Congress for which the American people probably have pretty low expectations but very high hopes.
All right. It was a bad night for Democrats in Maryland, but you were reelected, so congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much for that.
Steny Hoyer. Appreciate it.